All You Need to Know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning and happy Monday to you. You're listening to the All You Need to Know podcast on Bloomberg Quint with me, Alex Matthew. Today is the 29th of July. This is a week that could set the course for the world economy in the near term. The highlight will be the US Federal Reserve's decision on monetary policy that comes up on Wednesday. Even the commentary by the Fed in the run-up to this week has moved bond yields the world over. Some Fed watchers predict officials will cut their benchmark by 0.5 percentage point, but the signal is that they will likely favor a 0.25 point reduction. That would be the first reduction in rates in over a decade. Apart from that, today, U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin are set to travel to China for the first high-level face-to-face trade negotiations between the two largest economies of the world since talks broke down in May. Interestingly, President Donald Trump said that China may wait until after the 2020 US presidential election to sign a trade agreement because Beijing would prefer to reach a deal with a Democrat. Apart from that, you also have the conclusion of the Bank of Japan meeting tomorrow and US jobs data at the end of the week. Let me now take you through some of the big news from back home. In politics, Karnataka Assembly Speaker K.R. Ramesh Kumar yesterday disqualified 14 more rebel members of the Legislative Assembly under the anti-defection law till the end of the term in 2023. Today, Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa will face a trust vote to prove his majority. 11 Congress MLAs and 3 Janata Dal secular lawmakers faced the axe 2 days after Yediyurappa took oath as Chief Minister after the collapse of the Congress-JDS coalition government. Let's take a look at some of the other news now. PepsiCo India Holdings yesterday said it plans to invest 514 crore rupees over the next 3 years to set up a greenfield snacks manufacturing plant in Uttar Pradesh. The new investment plan is in line with PepsiCo's goal to double its snacks business in India by 2022 and is expected to help create over 1,500 jobs, both direct and indirect, according to a statement. The government is planning initial public offerings of 3 to 4 financially strong regional rural banks on stock exchanges in the current financial year after the conclusion of a merger exercise which will bring down the number of banks in the space to 38 from the current 45. Reliance Jio Infocomm won more subscribers to become India's biggest telecom operator as companies prepare for the planned rollout for 5G network next year. Reliance Jio's subscriber base grew to 331.3 million in the quarter ended June. In more international news, Boris Johnson is getting serious about a no-deal Brexit. The UK Prime Minister formed a war cabinet of 6 senior ministers to plan for an exit by the 31st of October, which was one of his campaign promises, with senior aide Dominic Cummings saying that the divorce will likely happen by any means necessary. That's according to the Sunday Times. Johnson is prepared to suspend Parliament or hold an election to thwart those who may get in his way. In international markets, US stocks ended the week higher, with the tech-heavy Nasdaq climbing over 1%. The Dow and the S&P 500 ended higher by 0.2 and 0.7% respectively. In Asia this morning, the markets are mixed. The Nikkei in Japan was lower by 0.6% and the Kospi in South Korea was down by 1.3%, while the Australian benchmark was gaining by 0.3% last I checked. With that, it's over to Agam Vakil for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Agam. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex, and good morning, listeners. Well, let's start off with the SGX Nifty futures indicating a flattish opening for now, and we don't really have too much of an impact from global indices. But domestically, we have plenty to watch out for, specifically earnings. So we will have the likes of Dr. Reddy's Laboratories from the Nifty 50, and besides that, DLF, Alembic Pharma, Kansai Nerolac, Navin Fluorine, Orient Cement, Bharat Electronics and Castrol India among the many which will announce earnings today. In terms of earnings over the weekend and last Friday post-market, among the most important ones, we had ICICI Bank, where results were in line with estimates with better asset quality. Advances, deposits growth remains strong with business growth highest in 14 quarters. Moving on to Vedanta, which actually missed estimates, and the EBITDA decline was due to low LME prices and high input costs. And the disappointment crept in form of aluminium and zinc international businesses. Moving on to Vodafone Idea. Results were once again below expectations, where your average revenue per user improvement was due to more lower ARPU subscriber exits. And Havells results once again below consensus expectations with Lloyds and switchgear segment weighing in on the financials. We, however, had strong earnings from ABB, KPIT Technologies, and weak earnings from TeamLease, Music Broadcast, Moylet, and Escorts. In terms of news, we have Kerala Healthcare receiving a Form 483 but with zero observations from the US FDA for its API manufacturing facility at Ankleshwar. IDFC has decided that it will not proceed with selling its entire stake in IDFC Securities to Chatterjee Group. The corporation stated that it will continue to look at other options to sell its securities business. Power Mech Project says Andhra Pradesh government cancelled orders worth 572 crores given to the company, and the company stated that since no construction activity commences, there is no implication on financials. And finally, we have Indiabulls Housing Finance, which has loans outstanding as on date from NHB to Indiabulls Housing is a zero, and says it has never taken any loan or refinancing facility from NHB. Indiabulls clarifies on Subramaniam Swamy's letter on money laundering as well. So these are just several of the stocks that you can keep an eye on in today's Day of Trade. But for more, don't forget to go through our morning edition of All You Need to Know on BloombergQuint.com.
Thanks, Agam. Well, that's all we have for you on this podcast, but there's a lot more on the website BloombergQuint.com, so do check it out. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.